welcome to Talk Fights. I'm Curtis Biggs. I'm joined again by my brother, Adam Biggs. And we're very excited for the UFC event coming up in about 10 days. It is Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3. Very exciting fight, very interesting fight.
Yeah, UFC 264. They're coming out guns blazing again with McGregor and Poirier, which I think basically since the last fight, everybody's been waiting to see the rematch. They're
Definitely.
What's going to happen in the rubber match.
Absolutely, the rubber match. I mean, how great is that, right? These guys got one each, both knockout wins. The first one I thought was 100% almost Conor McGregor. Poirier landed a few shots, but it was basically the Conor McGregor show of the first fight. It was a first round stoppage. Not a spectacular stoppage in my opinion, but a stoppage nonetheless.
Yeah, I would agree that it was definitely more Conor McGregor dominating it. I mean, Poirier, obviously, he didn't have much time in the first one. It ended, what, at 3.5 minutes or something like that?
Something like that.
Into the first round. So, it's hard to say what would have happened had it gone longer, but obviously Conor dominated, as he often does. His explosive, high-powered style.
Definitely.
And, he got the win, but then, he got stopped the second time.
Yeah, the second fight, I thought the second fight was going back and forth. I thought Conor certainly has moments. Poirier was doing very well. He took Conor down early in the fight. Conor was able to get to his feet pretty quickly, but just having been taken down, I mean, that shows that Poirier was on his game.
Yeah, and one day they got a little switch around on the fence and stuff, where they were back and forth and throwing the shoulder jabs and stuff at each other.
Yeah, that was cool.
Right?
The shoulder shots were cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it was definitely a different story in the second fight. McGregor, again, was explosive and landed quite a few nice shots on Poirier. Poirier seemed a little bit more ready for them. He knew he was going to have to take some shots.
Yeah.
And he was able to weather the storm and keep going. Absolutely.
And he did. He went toe-to-toe with McGregor right at the end of the fight and got the better of it and put him down and knocked him out. As the announcers were saying, I think as we all noticed while watching that fight, the deciding factor was really the calf kicks from Dustin Poirier to Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He just had nothing left in his legs by the end of that fight. Not that Poirier wasn't hitting him hard, but I think especially that last fight, McGregor was a bit off balance and just didn't have the power in his legs to hold himself up anymore. And then once he hit the ground, Poirier got on and finished him off.
I remember you saying that when we watched it, that he kind of got hit and stumbled back, and his legs just didn't have the power to hold him up anymore. Mm-hmm. So he kind of went down, and the ref was in there right away, pretty much.
Absolutely. But it was totally reasonable.
Oh yeah, it was a reasonable stoppage. He'd eaten some shots, and again, to get dropped, like hurt leg or not, he got dropped. So
it was a good fight. It was a good fight with Dustin Poirier. What's going to happen in the third fight, right? That's what we're all looking forward to now. It's, I think it's a tough call because you have both guys have one win each. You could say the second fight was dominant for Dustin Poirier and the first fight was dominant for McGregor. Yeah. I think McGregor was very competitive in the second fight and dominant in the first one. But what have these guys done in the meantime? Since they fought each other, neither one has fought anybody in the UFC.
Right.
What have they been up to? Have they been training hard? Have they been preparing for this rematch? I think Dustin Poirier definitely has been. This is the fight he's been wanting. This is the big money fight for him. He wants that fight with Conor McGregor. He wants to win that trilogy.
See, and that's, to me, and I get that, but the wanting the money fight over, he could have had a shot at the title. The legit title, I'm not saying his wasn't legit, but it was interim. Yeah. Right? His title was interim. So for me, what I think the whole point of doing this is to get the belt. Now, I mean, the money is a part of it too, but I don't know. I lost a little bit of respect picking the money fight over picking the belt shot.
Yeah, it's a tough call when if you're in that position to be faced with the possibility of money that you can retire off of versus the possibility of being your legacy, basically, right?
Well, and I suppose if he wins the fight, he basically is in line
have a shot at the title,
for the next shot anyway.
Guaranteed.
But that's a big fight. He
may think he can do it anyway. Yeah. Why not take the money now and I'll get the title down the road?
Yeah, maybe.
It should be good. Both these guys are bangers. They know what they're doing. Conor McGregor is very explosive, as you mentioned. He's very athletic. Some of the stuff this guy does in there, like he does a lot of spinning back kicks, a lot of heel kicks, a lot of wheel kicks. Excuse me.
great balance, yeah.
Absolutely,
and
very
high
flexible.
power in these. They're not just fleeting attacks. They're legit strikes, right? Like,
absolutely, McGregor has power. He seriously does. His boxing is very, very good. Everybody's talked about the fight between him and Floyd Mayweather. We're not going to go into that really, but I think the only reason he was able to even survive that fight with Floyd Mayweather is his boxing is very, very good.
Yeah.
It should be interesting, right? So who do we think's going to win? Again, as I said, it's a tough call. I really like Conor McGregor, even though he's been in a bit of a slump lately. He had that loss to Khabib, had that loss to Dustin Poirier. But I want to say that Conor McGregor is going to train hard enough that he's going to come back and have that championship mentality that he's had in the past. And I think he's going to be able to beat Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. Well, I think you may be right in this sense. That he's going to come back. He wants this win. He wants to get this trilogy. I know he's been dominant before and huge fan favorite, but on your way to the top, you got a different kind of hunger than you do when you're at the top and you made $100 million or whatever he did off the Floyd fight.
Absolutely.
And he's still coming back and he's making whatever top of the friggin' food chain at UFC when he comes back. So he's not starving. So I think has that natural ability, but he hasn't been training hard enough.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm going to agree with you.
If he hasn't, he's going to have a tough night against Dustin Poirier.
Right. I'm going to agree with you on this one that I think he has been training hard enough, and I think he is going to come back and get the win. I would even go as far to say it's going to be an early stoppage. He's going to put the pressure on really hard at the beginning, and he's not going to let the first time he catches Poirier, he's not going to let him catch his breath. Right, he's going to drown him from there.
And I would agree with that. I think that he was able to hurt him those couple times, or rock him a little bit a couple times in the second fight. He was certainly able to hurt him in the first fight. I think he's going to get right on him, and he's going to found a way to defend those calf kicks. I think he's found that that's definitely a weakness to everybody. But I mean, he's certainly
if he can adjust. If he can adjust, I think he's the better man. Unfortunately for Poirier in there. If he can adjust and he works hard, I think he's got what it takes to take Poirier down in this awesome trilogy.
Yeah, it is. It is a good trilogy, absolutely. Who knows what Poirier's been doing in the meantime? Again, I'm sure he's been training hard. I'm sure he's been training very hard. This is his retirement, maybe, right? This is the money for his family, the money for his future, and whatever else. But I just don't think he's going to be able to beat Conor McGregor. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say it's going to be an early stoppage. I'm going to say as soon as McGregor hurts him, he's going to get right on him, and I'm going to say a second round stoppage for Conor McGregor.
I mean, we talked about this before. There's those certain guys out there that are a level above other guys because of their natural ability, but the reason they're a level above isn't the natural ability. It's because they combine it with the work ethic.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas I feel like Conor has maybe just sort of stepped in the last few. He was still able to beat sort of a declining Cerrone on the end, but I don't think he's had to have the same sort of mentality, right, where he can step into a title shot right now and nobody would even question it.
Sure.
Right? He doesn't have to have that same mentality that he's got to grind and work as much for because he's already made his way there.
Yeah, when he fought Jose Aldo, I mean, I think he was physically and mentally at his peak when he fought Jose Aldo, was able to take him out very early in the first round. A huge knockout to one of the greatest featherweight champions of all time, Jose Aldo. But he was in the right place for that fight.
I could see him potentially wanting to either retire off of this fight or if it gets him another title shot. That would be the next thing, again, to become the two-time lightweight champion instead of just the two-division, one-time champ, right? I mean,
no doubt.
McGregor's looking for legacy at this point, I would say.
I think he is as well, absolutely. But it should be good. We've both got McGregor for the win and both by knockout.
Yeah, lots of other good fights. Gilbert Burns and Stephen Thompson.
That's a great fight.
That should be a great fight. Both of them are fireworks. Both of them have lost to some of the sort of upper echelon type guys. Well, Stephen Thompson had that draw with Woodley and then lost to him.
He's coming off
whereas Burns beat Woodley, did he not?
I want to say that he did. Yeah, I want to say he did. I want to say he beat him up.
Yeah.
Stephen Thompson's coming off a win off of a Jeff Hands of Steel Neal, where he really took it to him, but didn't put himself in danger. stayed back and he was able to force Neil to play his game. It was a very intelligent, very methodical win for Stephen Thompson.
Yeah.
And I expect a similar type performance from him once on the next Saturday.
Yeah, he's going to want to stay away from Burns. Obviously, Burns got power, right? He's not going to mess around. A few other good fights. Got O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's fighting on there.
Yeah, Carlos
Condit, exactly. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Always exciting to see Carlos Condit fight.
Yeah, it's great to see him again.
Yeah.
Ty Tabas and Greg Hardy.
Yeah, that should be a good one. A couple of big bangers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, chances are it's going to be fireworks with those two guys too, right?
Yeah, it really should be great. It's July 10th. My birthday is actually July 11th, so I'm having a birthday party July 10th, and we'll be watching the fights. It should be great. It should be fantastic.
It's going to be awesome, right?
Absolutely. See you at the fights.
All right.
My secret power is sadness. You knew it. Oh, throwing gloves, dirty pool.